What is up, guys? D Black Tay here, and today we're gonna be bringing you guys that Samurai 8 versus Naruto comparison video today, and it's going to be fire. But later on today, tonight, in fact, I want you guys to pull up to the Discord. Let's talk about some Samurai 8. All right. I want this shit to happen. It's gonna be a good time. Everyone pull up. Probably be around 9 or 10. I'm in Houston, so y'all figure out the math on that. I'm gonna try to go 2 hours or whatever like that. If you don't want to pull up to the Discord, just pull up on YouTube, ask your questions. Pull up in the Discord. I want to see you guys' conversations and whatnot. I really want to get this series popping because I'll be seeing you guys on Twitter. Talking about Samurai 8. So I'm gonna need you guys to pull up. Let's talk about this. Let's have a good night tonight, right? But anyways, let's talk about this Samurai 8 versus Naruto. I've been rereading Samurai 8 the last couple days, and it has been fire. All right, having the understanding that we have from the 30 chapters that we've been given so far have been really amazing, and it helps when you go back and reread because everything makes more sense. Everything you're kind of adjusted to everything, the storytelling, the artwork, and now you can kind of put the information that we've garnered in the future and try to match it up. I mean, not in the future, but what we're getting right now, everything on Planet Kinka with Binka and whatnot. And you take it back to chapter 1, and you can really see the formula and everything has been detailed and laid out. And you can really tell that Kishimoto did a really good job at planning out Samurai 8, right? You can really tell that he took his time. He really knows what he wants to do with the series and abilities going forward. And going back, I always thought, like, what are the princesses going to do? What are the princesses going to be used for? And I'm starting to get a picture in my mind of where Kishimoto is going to go with the princesses. So I'm going to drop that theory video. I've done a little bit talking about it on Twitter, so go follow me on Twitter. All right, go follow me on Twitter. But anyways, let's get into this comparison, right? So I dropped a video yesterday. Me and my girlfriend, we were talking about Samurai 8 and Naruto, the first about 5 chapters, right? And I really enjoyed that video. Y'all go check it out. That was a really fun video for me to record and to prepare for, just doing something with someone you really care about. That was just really exciting for me and whatnot. So I hope to do videos sometimes, discussions or whatnot, with like Light or something. Me and him, we could probably do like a collab, drop a Samurai 8 video, or me and Mega Man, or me and Otaku Tay, someone like that, just come. We'll just drop a discussion video on one of our channels. That'd be dope. Do a little collab and whatnot. But into this discussion, right? So we were talking about, I want to note how in the first chapter of Naruto and the first chapter of Samurai 8, I had my girlfriend check that out for me because I wanted a casual reader's perspective on the two mangas and how Kishimoto has decided to take the series and whatnot. And from her understanding and my own rereading of both, I've come to see why people did not like Samurai 8 at the beginning and why they took such hostility towards Kishimoto for how Samurai 8 was dropped and why they would call it trash, right? So in the first chapter of Naruto, it is so perfectly put together, right? The artwork was fantastic, the storytelling fantastic. You had the little bits of comedy here and there. Everything flowed perfectly together and culminated so well in that first chapter that although the next 2 to 3 were, they weren't bad, but they weren't like great, So, in terms of storytelling, but we got a lot of progression and whatnot. So, although it wasn't like great, you wanted to stick around for Naruto and see where it went and see where things were going, right? So, in the first chapter of Naruto, you get, from the very first page, you learn about the nine-tailed demon fox that attacked the village, when Naruto was young, 13 years ago, and he was sealed inside of him and whatnot by the fourth Hokage. And so you start off and you see this kid and he's drawing on these stone faces in the background, and you're like, what is going on? The village is in a panic. They're like, this damn kid, this damn Naruto. And you meet the third Hokage, right? And he's just like, kind of upset about everything. And, you just meet Naruto, right? And I feel like it did such a great job, a phenomenal job, in fact, of portraying Naruto, what Naruto was feeling about the village and why he acted the way that he acted, right? So with Naruto, you understood that the reason he was so goofy and outlandish and whatnot was because of all the animosity, all the hate that he was getting. So it's like, if you're a kid, right? If you don't get a lot of attention or you see people getting attention, you see other kids, they get attention for being good and you don't really get attention like that and whatnot. You do outlandish things. You act out because you want attention, right? And so you get that with Naruto. You and and for me personally, you felt a lot of sympathy for Naruto. The village just hated him for no reason. But you kind of start to understand later on why they didn't like him, although it was a very shitty reason, Even the Jonin, the ninjas of the village that are, there to protect the village, essentially, they hate Naruto too. So it's like, Naruto wants to be a ninja. He wants to do all these things just because he wants attention, right? So that's a little bit where I want to leave off about the first chapter, and I want to compare that now with Samurai 8, where you start off in outer space. You kind of get a flashback or a pre-prologue to the start of the series, right? So you get Daruma, you get Yasha, and you get Yasha explaining, my duty or my calling is to protect, keep the one that wants to destroy it at bay, and yours is to find the keys to save the world, and go as Fudomio and whatnot and stuff like that. So I could understand where that dialogue and whatnot and everything going on. It's kind of like, okay, it's like it's kind of just thrown at you, right? It's like, I don't even know what's going on in the series yet, and you're giving me all this information, so it's like, okay, let's keep going, right? And so, like, I'm not gonna say that the art was bad for those first 2 pages, because it was really detailed and colored and whatnot, and you could really tell and follow along with what was going on in the artwork and whatnot because it was colored, right? So you learn about Fudomio, and then suddenly, it jumps to Daruma and Yasha, and they're just talking and whatnot, and they're talking about the mind's eye and stuff like that, which we still don't know about. Come on, Kishi. But it was like, it was too much at once, right? It was just giving you things, right? So with Naruto, what it did was, it told you that, hey, the Nine-Tails Fox, it was just this big monster capable of just leveling mountains and whatnot with just his tails, with just a wisp of his tail and whatnot, and that's all you really got. And then you got Naruto, right? So you got all this deep, detailed conviction and storytelling, like, from the jump. So I could understand why people were thrown off at it at the beginning, because it's like, is the whole series gonna be like this? But like I've always said, for me, I'm not a casual reader. I like the detail, I like the storytelling, I like all that stuff, right? So for me, it's like, oh, okay, this is where we're starting. All right, I'm vibing with this. Like, you've got my attention, Kishi. All right, but I can definitely understand why people would definitely pick Naruto over Samurai 8. I can completely understand from that first chapter alone, like, why you would be like, okay, Naruto is like way better than Samurai 8, like Kishi's fell off. Like, I can completely understand that, because just everything with the first chapter just culminated so beautifully, right? So let's keep going with Samurai 8. All right, you get Daruma flying off and whatnot, and then you just jump to a battle scene, right? And it was just a random battle scene, and you couldn't really tell and differentiate anything that was going on, because everything was one shade of color, white. All right, Daruma was white. The samurai, he had some black and white clothing, but the buildings were white. The ground was white. The smoke coming from the buildings, the dust, everything was just white. All right. So when you had them, and then you got more confusing dialogue, right? And so it was just, I feel like it was too much at once. It was just too much at once. Now, when you got to Hachimaru and whatnot, that's when I felt like this, the first chapter, it started to pace itself and it started to find itself. It's just that first 5 to 7 page span, although it was dope for me, I can understand where it's like, alright, like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is just wild and too much going on, right? And so I felt like when you got to understand that it was a game, and you got everything with Hachimaru and his dad and their relationship, and then you meet Daruma, and then you get Hachimaru and Daruma talking, and you understand that Daruma's a samurai, he's a cat samurai. You understand that Hachimaru doesn't necessarily hate his dad, he just hates the conditions and circumstances they're in, and that he just wants to be able to move around and be like a normal kid. Kids have energy, they want to do crap. I mentioned yesterday that me and my fiance, we have a son, and all he does is move around and do stuff. Like, that is just a natural kid thing. They just have their bundles of energy, right? So for Hachimaru, I can definitely understand why, him in particular, he feels like, he doesn't understand why he's in this predicament. All he understands is that his dad is just like pricking him. He's not able to go outside. He's not able to enjoy a normal kid's life, although, he does get to enjoy video games and whatnot. But that's only like one aspect to being a kid, right? So I feel like in terms of that first chapter, understanding Naruto's relationship to the village and him being an orphan, you definitely feel more sympathy and more understanding, and like why the hell are y'all treating Naruto like this? Like, Naruto seems like a dope person. You get to meet Iruka sensei, and you get to understand their relationship and why Iruka wants Naruto to become serious, and he believes that he can become stronger, right? Although he doesn't he understands that Naruto tries very hard and whatnot like that. So I've been going on this first chapter for almost 12 minutes, and that's just how different like the series started off. So I'm gonna just wrap up the first chapter and whatnot, and I'm gonna just progress naturally and keep going and talk about the story and the progression of the characters and whatnot, and which one I can understand or which ones I like better and which ones I prefer and whatnot. So with Naruto, at the end, you get to understand that he gets used to get one of the secret scrolls and whatnot, and he trains with the secret scroll. He gets, I forget, I think it's not Mitsuki. I think it was, I don't remember his name, but it was one of the teachers. He was a tuning with the Ruka or whatever, and so he uses Naruto to get a secret scroll, and he uses him because he's the nine-tailed fox. Everyone already hates him, so they'll just see it as more reason to hate Naruto. So, his whole purpose was to get the scroll. We don't really know what he was planning to do with the scroll. I don't really know. But, he wanted to use it to learn the legendary techniques within it. So, Naruto, he gets the scroll. He learns the jutsu, damn, multi-shadow clone jutsu. And then Iruka pulls up, he talks to Naruto, he scolds him and whatnot, and he explains that, like, and it's just, it was just so perfectly handled. Like, that's all I can say. Like, getting Iruka's backstory, understanding that Iruka was just like Naruto, he did things for attention and whatnot, and how he didn't hate Naruto, right? Although the Nine Tails was inside of him, and he didn't understand necessarily what Naruto was going through, but they came to an understanding at the end of the chapter, right? Like, he understood that Naruto, he wanted to work hard, he wanted to be understood, he didn't want to be seen as, like, some brat, and then when Mitsuki expanded on everything about him being the Nine-Tailed Fox, that awakened Naruto's understanding finally of why everyone hated him and why everyone had disdain for him. So, you end off with Naruto beating the crap out of him and Iruka graduating Naruto, and it was perfectly handled. I feel like it made more sense, everything flowed together, and it would make you want to continue the series, right? So with Samurai 8, although you get the dad relationship and you get Hachimaru's understanding, and you kind of understand that, oh, I want to be a samurai because, like, that's like the cool warrior thing to do. It's like when you're a kid, you see all these cool things like Goku going Super Saiyan, and you want to go Super Saiyan, and you go ah, and, hurt your lungs and shit. Although you could never go Super Saiyan, but you're a kid, you want to do cool shit, right? So you get all that stuff with Hachimaru, and you feel for him. You get his relationship with Daruma, that gets more fleshed out. And then you meet Ronin. And the Ronin samurai, he explains that, like, what a locker ball is, how you become a samurai, and stuff like that, right? So I felt like it was just too much information for a casual reader to get into for a series, right? And not only that, the art made it kind of hard to follow along with things. So you get Hachimaru, he sacrifices himself to become a samurai for his dad, to save his dad, because his dad gets captured by the Ronin samurai. And you find out that, Hachimaru has this famous sword hidden inside of him known as Dojikiri Takatsuna, or the Bloodsucker sword. We have no idea what's happened to that sword since then, but that's neither here nor there. So with Hachimaru and Ronin, Ronin defeats everyone. He gives this over explanation of what a samurai is, and basically what a samurai is that you're able, by a locker ball left by the great warrior god Fudomiyo, he left this technology, he left behind this technology, right? And this technology, if you match up with it in some way, shape, or form, like DNA wise, or like, I think there's more to it than that. I feel like I'm gonna explain it later, but there's more to the locker ball than just that. But basically, the explanation that we got is that you have to be connected to it, or you have to be successfully able to link with it, to become a samurai. And if you don't, you die. But if you do, your body becomes a cyborg. We see that Hachimaru sacrifices himself later on because the Ronin samurai promises that he'll let his dad go, he'll free his dad. So he sacrifices himself, he becomes a samurai, and with Daruma's help, they're able to defeat the Ronin samurai, right? So even the action wasn't necessarily all that well. You could tell what was going on, but it took you a while to really get the gist of what was going on within the fight and within the chapter. And so I can definitely understand. So for me, the first start of Naruto was just way better handled than Samurai 8. Like, the story, the characters, you got a really good sense of everything that was going on in the village, and it made you want to keep rereading Naruto. With Samurai 8, for me personally, because I've kept up with the series, and I want to give it a good note, because I love the series and whatnot. I'm a little biased, but with Samurai 8, like, you're like, do I want to keep reading this? Like, is it just gonna be this all the time with the over explanation and the over exact? Like, it was just too much. And then I see where the hate comes for the first chapter and why people would drop it. Now, personally, I think people are stupid for dropping chapters, a series in the first chapter. Like, give it 10 to 15, let it set its pace, let you get a foundation of what's going to happen within the series before you drop it, right? So, I can definitely see why Naruto is a lot better than Samurai 8 in terms of the first chapter. So, now I'm going to speed up with this explanation because I feel like the first chapter of each series really sets up the story going forward, and that's why you have to really, really, really get an understanding of that first chapter to really get an impact going forward of the series and with the series, right? Because I feel like rereading Naruto, I had more of a bias, more of a love for the series, just for my pure love for Naruto in general, and just like my storyline with Naruto, like just me reading it, my connection with Naruto, my love for Sasuke and Kakashi and Team 7 and Gaara and like all the characters in Naruto. Like, it was such a nostalgic feeling just reading the first chapter, and it just immediately immersed you in, right? It just immediately grabbed your attention and immediately wanted you to keep reading it, right? It was just, I cannot just stress it enough, fantastic. And and it's not a knock on Kishi, it's not a knock on his storytelling. If anything, I think it's a huge upgrade on his storytelling with Samurai 8, because he has basically laid the foundation with that entire first chapter of where the series was going to go and how it was going to be handled, and the ability and being a samurai, right? So let's start. I'm going to talk about the first 2 through 10 right now of Naruto, right? So chapters 2 through 10 of Naruto, you get Sakura, you get Kakashi, you get Team 7, right? You get their interactions, you learn about them as characters, you get their backgrounds and what they enjoy and whatnot like that. So with Naruto, you immediately understand, hey, he loves Sakura, right? He is all about Sakura. Sakura is all about Sasuke, and Sasuke is the typical cool kid on the block, and my typical favorite character just because how he was handled in Naruto. It was just great. And I talked about this with my girlfriend, like the storytelling between the three, like Team 7 was really perfect to grasp and handle and get together, right? Team 7 was just perfect, right? So with Team 7, you get Naruto. He's the orphan. He didn't have the parents. He grew up hated by everyone. He didn't have anything, essentially, right? And then you have Sakura. Sakura, she grew up with a loving family. She had both her parents. She lived a typical childhood life. She got the chance to like boys, and stuff like that. And she grew up like, a typical girl. Like, I don't really know if girls like boys or anything. But, because, I'm a guy. So, at our age, we were, girls was a thing. Having a girlfriend was like the cool thing, shit like that. But she liked Sasuke, and she was really annoying, really fucking annoying. Like, oh my god, bro, like, Sakura, shut the fuck up, like, bruh, oh my god, like, how do you hate Naruto said 2 words to this bitch, and she was just off her shit, bro. Just off her shit, and she hated this man for like the simplest shit, bro. Like, oh, Naruto doesn't have parents, so he's allowed to be reckless. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, oh my god. I loved when Sasuke clapped back at her, and he was like, bro, you're annoying, bro. Like, you don't understand shit. And so Sasuke, he came from that family, right? He came from a family, he had everything, and then he lost everything, right? So he understands both sides of he's like the perfect balance between the two, but you can tell that he more aligns with Naruto. He and Naruto have a base understanding for each other, right? Although they don't really get along, but they have that base understanding for each other, right? And that was really detailed and really well handled. And then you get Kakashi, who is like a perfect mixture of all three. He's playful like Naruto. He's intelligent like it's like Sakura and Sasuke. He also has the perfect flair and the perfect mixture of Sakura and Sasuke, where he has Sasuke's, he comes from a very diligent line of like a family. He's very upholding of I said samurai. He's a very upheld for a ninja, right? You can tell he's very intelligent, very upheld, but he also has his playful side. And you get that when he explaining to Naruto and Sakura later on, and Sasuke later on in the manga when he's training them and whatnot, that like being a ninja isn't a game. Like, this is serious. You have to be a family. You have to act as a team, or you're all going to die. You're all going to lose your life, right? And so you get Sakura's interaction. She's just all about Sakura, and she says she hates Naruto and whatnot. That was like really stupid. Like, I was just really annoyed with how Kishi handled Sakura's character. Like, oh my gosh, she's annoying. But with Sasuke and Naruto, right, you get Sasuke's foreboding. He wants to kill a certain man. He doesn't really like anything. So he's like your typical emo kid. And it's like, okay, like, I want to know more about Sasuke. Like, what is Sasuke about? And Naruto, he just goes on and on about food and shit. And then, he talks about how he wants to be Hokage. He wants to be the best ninja because he wants everyone to acknowledge him. So this is like a little bit of character development on his side, where it's like he wants to be stronger solely for the fact that he wants everyone's acknowledgement. He doesn't want to do the kiddie shit to get everyone's acknowledgement. He wants them to recognize him for him and his strength, right? And so being Hokage, being the strongest, is the best way to do that. So that's going to be a difficult goal. And that's always noted by the third Hokage. That's noted by the third Hokage, that like being Hokage for Naruto, that's going to be a ridiculous journey. And as a fan of Naruto, it was a ridiculous journey, right? But I'm not going that in depth yet. So with those chapters 2 through 10 of Naruto, right, you get Kakashi, you get their development, and you get that they have absolutely zero teamwork, right? They absolutely do not mess with each other. Naruto, he's a knucklehead. He doesn't understand what being a ninja is. And so when they're training with Kakashi, like, he just runs up on Kakashi, right? Like, he was like, I'm gonna be the best ninja. I'm gonna run up on a Jonin. Like, bro, you barely passed, bro. Get the hell out of here. But Naruto, for what it's worth, he did put up like some good fronts, some good fights, and some good action. And like, the art was really well, and you got like great chapter by chapter, not like one chapter explanation of like everything going on. Like, one chapter you got taijutsu, and I think taijutsu with Naruto, right? You get like genjutsu with Sakura, and that was another chapter, right? And you get I think ninjutsu with Sasuke, because he uses the fire style technique on Kakashi. So like, you got a chapter by chapter introduction to the techniques of what ninja could do during the mini training arc with Kakashi. And so I felt like the pacing for chapters 2 through 10 of Naruto, that was really well handled. Everything was really well put together. And then you start your arc with Tazuna, the shipbuilder, I think that's his name or whatever, but the shipbuilder for the Land of Waves. That starts that arc. They get a mission to go to the Land of Waves after they pass Kakashi's training and whatnot, and then learn the value of teamwork and whatnot and stuff like that. And Kakashi gives a speech about how people that don't follow the rules are scum, but people who don't who leave their teammates behind or worse than scum. Basically, like, I understand following the mission, but you can't leave your teammates behind, like, or else you're scum and stuff like that. And so, like, it starts to position you into the new arc of Naruto, right? And so I'm gonna get through that with my discussion of chapters 10 through 30, and I'm gonna just go through that because that was all essentially just one arc. It was just getting, the shipbuilder to the land of waves and whatnot. So with Samurai 8, chapters 2 through 10, right, you get I feel like, for me personally, with Samurai 8 and me and what I enjoy and what I love for a series, right, I really, really enjoyed just the character interactions, getting to see the world, seeing the art grow, learning about samurai, learning about the environment, learning about the history, learning about the lore, and learning about just more characters, and just, oh my god, bro. Like, for me, like, though, that 8 stretch of panels, like, I know people didn't enjoy it, but for me, like, I really love that. Like I keep saying, it reminds me of early One Piece. Like, it really grips me. It really, like, for me personally, I really enjoyed that shit, right? Like, it was really, like, really amazing. Like, okay, so you meet Nanashi. With Hachimaru, he leaves his house after becoming a samurai. He goes and meets Nanashi, right? And Nanashi, he's like, she, whatever you want to call him. I'm gonna call him a he, you can call him a she. It's whatever you see him becoming in the future. It's whatever your headcanon is, right? So I think he's gonna become a samurai, so I'm gonna call him a he, but he could become a princess. We don't really know how this works. So, but for his character, right, he doesn't go outside. And so, to the point where he doesn't talk to people, he doesn't understand human interaction because he doesn't meet humans or anything, right? And so, to cope with that, he talks to his hands, right? And he calls them Mr. Right and Miss Left, right? And so, Mr. Right is his male side. It talks for his male side. It talks for him wanting to be a samurai. It speaks to his goal of being a man and being a boy, right? And that's for his gender and what he wants to be for his gender. And that's a strong parallel and tackle to some of the issues that we see in our own society today. And I really enjoyed that, how Kishi really tackled that, right? It tackled his misunderstanding of himself in a way that it allowed the reader to understand what Nanashi was feeling. And I know that people didn't care, but for me personally, like, I just really enjoyed how that was tackled. And I don't understand how people just did not enjoy those chapters. Like, that was phenomenally handled. Like, oh my god, Kishi, the storytelling, it's why I love Samurai. Like, if you're here just to check out the Naruto versus Samurai comparison and you want to read Samurai, please, the storytelling, Kishi is really doing a phenomenal job. Oh my god, go check that. Like, just the storytelling alone should just draw you in, and the art progression over time has been phenomenal. And that 8 stretch, you can really tell that he got more and more better with his shading and whatnot and the artwork. And then even 10 through 20 or 10 through 30, as I'm going to talk about, you can really see the improvement in the art, right? It's just, it grows on you. It's fantastic. And so with Samurai 8 and with the story and with Nanashi, as I'm talking about right now, it was really well handled. I'm not gonna go too much into the Kang Tank because that's just a sub battle point, just getting us interested into some of the samurai technology and just giving us a fight to keep the readers interested, right? Just the stuff with Nanashi and those two being the number 1 and number 2 gamer in samurai games, and them just always being friends and always having an understanding for each other in the game and being rivals and whatnot. And just Nanashi as a whole just made Samurai 8 a lot better for those 2 to 3 chapters for me. Like, just that understanding, and then we get Daruma and Hachimaru, and Daruma and Hachimaru's dad, Dr. Furuta, as we get his name later on. They're all interactions, getting to understand that Hachimaru is growing up and he's not that little boy anymore. For Hachimaru's dad, I can really understand how that was difficult for him, because it was such a sudden change for him to deal with, right? It was just such a sudden impact and such a sudden change that he had to get adjusted to. So I can understand his gripe and his disdain for Hachimaru wanting to travel, because he really didn't understand the dangers of the outside world, and he was just really trying to protect him. And as a dad, I can fully understand that with my own relationship with my son, of where you just want to protect your son no matter what it is, but you also have to understand that your son is growing up, he's going to do things for himself, and he's going to understand, and you have to understand that. And so as a parent, like, I could definitely understand Dr. Furuta's side of things. Like, that their relationship and their dynamic was so beautifully handled, and having Hachimaru even ponder to himself that, like, okay, maybe I'm in the wrong here, maybe I could be wrong too, when him and his dad are fighting about him wandering and going outside and training to be a samurai and whatnot. And so just those panels of just their relationship and how it was just well handled. And then we get a little bit about Daruma and how he's been searching for samurai for these keys for 50 years, and how he's been in this cat body for a long time. I'm assuming 50 years as well, because it says that, like, I don't know if he's been in a cat body. That's my headcanon. I think he's been around for a really long time, because he's a legendary samurai. He's known across the galaxies, essentially. Like, he's the second generation master of the Kongo Yasha style, right? And so we just got a lot of hype for Daruma in those two chapters 2 through 10. We get the understanding of what the key holders can do, right? We understand that they're your armor, they're your shields, they're your your life support, they're your companion, they're you, and you have to have a inseparable relationship with them. They have to recognize you as their master in order for you to get a bone hilt to use your true sword, which is the samurai soul that is embedded in their body, right? And so we get Hachimaru training, and just some gag panels and whatnot, and those are really hilarious. You get Mujin. Mujin, he was the protector of the planet. You meet Ata, who is a mysterious guy, a mysterious villain at the beginning of things. You get him in chapter 5. You get him, and you get his dragon holder. You get his princess, because during that whole part of the story, you're getting to understand what it means to be a samurai, and you're getting to understand the history of what a samurai is, such as being a samurai, having a key holder, having a princess, etc. That is what makes a samurai stronger. And I'm trying to push this along because I'm at almost 40 minutes, bro, and I haven't even started talking about chapter 30 and chapter 20 and beyond. Like, this is crazy. I did not expect to go this in depth. I hope that you guys are still sticking around. If you're here, let's keep going with this discussion, because I'm really having fun recording this right now. And let me know what you guys think down below. Stop the video or whatever. Let me know what you guys think about Naruto and Samurai 8. If you've just watched the anime or you've just watched the manga, let me know what you guys think about Naruto, comparing it to Samurai 8, and how you just felt about these first couple chapters and just comparing the two. Let's get some discussion flowing in the comment section. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy talking to you guys and seeing and interacting with you guys. That's really fun for me. But let's keep talking about Samurai 8, right? And so with I fell in love with the characters and the lore, and just being immersed in the story. And for me, I love being immersed in story. I get the love for Naruto and the action and the storytelling and the enjoyment from it and whatnot, and I get all that, right? But for Samurai 8, it just hooked me better, because I love relationships, and I love those interactions and the family ties and stuff like that, because they were really important towards the end of the prologue of Samurai 8, which was through chapter 14. Whereas with Naruto, we started getting into the first arc and whatnot. But I'm gonna keep talking about Ata. They find no, I'm gonna talk about Anne, because Anne, she's not annoying like Sakura. Oh my goodness, Sakura's fucking annoying. But Anne is best girl. Anne is perfect. She is like the perfect embodiment of a character. I have just been enjoying my best girl like 8 Mini. I don't know if you've watched my videos or if you've watched them recently, but please do more Anne fan art. She is amazing. I just love her so much. But when you meet her, she's very timid. She has a stuttering issue, and I really like how Kishimoto is really putting like characters with like not defects, or like they have like certain incapacities, or certain like ailments that hold them back or whatnot. But you really get an understanding, and you get a fulfillment and an enjoyment for understanding like Kishimoto really like how he's handling them and pushing forward that like, hey, you can like be strong and you can have an impact and you can do things and you can push through and you can have dreams and whatnot. And I really like how he's pushing that to the forefront and getting that understanding and understanding the type of things that those type of peoples with these particular ailments, what they go through, and seeing things from their perspective and their understanding, and just getting their relationship and their point of views. Like I love how Kishimoto just tackled it. And for me personally, like, it puts Samurai 8 over Naruto for me, because you can really tell how he's grown as a writer and a storyteller. And with Anne, just her character, understanding her, where she's kind of clumsy and ditzy, where she loses her locker ball, but she's also a really sweet and open-minded and kind person. But she also has this really strong side about her that we meet and understand from like those 3 chapters of just interaction with Samurai, of her meeting Hachimaru. And like, I'm cheesing right now. Like, I'm smiling really hard. I don't have the camera on right now, but I'm smiling really hard right now just thinking about Anne and her character and the development between her and Hachimaru, and just her and meeting Daruma and the interactions between the two, and like just the family setting. Like, it was just so beautiful, and the artwork and just the tone of the environment and the world. Oh my god, bro. Like, I'm about to, like, oh my fucking god, bro. Like, it was just it was such an amazing read, right? Whereas with Naruto, I'm not discrediting Naruto or anything. Like, meeting Naruto, understanding Naruto, getting his growth, meeting Sakura, meeting Sasuke, understanding teamwork, and understanding Konohamaru, and understanding all of their relationships and their interactions and whatnot. That was all really dope, and I really enjoyed it, and I really loved reading it, right? But Samurai 8 just hit different. It hit more home, and it hit all the bullet points that I look for in a manga, and what I wanted in that, like what I want and what I want to read, and the storytelling, right? Like, you still get the training, you still get the fighting, you still get that, but it doesn't take a subservient role to the characters, the interactions, the depth, and the and the storytelling. It doesn't take a overarching or overhanding role to the story. And it's really why I love stories like One Piece, Black Clover, My Hero, I know those are the big ones going on right now, but I really love how, they're very action shonen. They stick to the shonen progression and the shonen plot. But where I, as a child, as growing up as a kid and whatnot, it was one of those DBZ impacts for me with Naruto at the beginning. It's not that Naruto didn't have great storytelling. I'm not saying that at all. But you fell in love with Naruto with the fighting and the action and the love. And anyone who says different, like, you're bullshitting. Like, we love the stories and the storytelling, but that was more like I feel like it didn't take a forefront until Shippuden, really. And even then, it was still more about the fights, right? So, for me, with Naruto, right, I love those downtimes and the scenes and just getting to know the teamwork and their interactions and whatnot. But Samurai 8, it's more pushed to the forefront, and I just really enjoy it. So where things start to pick up for Samurai 8 and where things picked up for Naruto a lot more early on, you have a lot more tension and a lot more progression. It was like, oh, was Naruto gonna get sent back to the academy? Were they gonna get sent back to the academy so they can learn with Kakashi, or like was Kakashi gonna pass them? Because they had that whole trial of Kakashi teaching them and whatnot, and he was like, oh, if you can't take these bills, I'm gonna send you back to the academy. But it was just a ploy for them to, show teamwork and show like they'll, work. They have a willingness to work together, because like in the end, that is what being a team is about, and that's what makes a team strong. So where things start to pick up with Samurai 8, and you get more of a love and impact and more of a feel with, it's like you get that love, you get that impact, you get that storytelling with Hachimaru and his dad. You get that, although they have some misguidances and some misgivings and misgrievances with each other, there's love there, right? And so I'm gonna speed up. Now we get Ata. Ata comes. He pulls up. He completely destroys Mugen, which is the protector samurai of the planet. This is where things really, really, really start to pick up with Samurai 8. You get Ata. You get Ata fighting Daruma. You find out that Daruma was, not Daruma, that Ata was Daruma's strongest and most best, student, and that he betrayed him. And then you find out that Daruma had a princess, and Princess Baku, and that apparently there was an incident, and that Ata betrayed them, and that he's with the Ususama style, and that he's after Hachikaku. And then you're trying to figure out, well, why is he after Hachimaru? Why is he calling him Hachikaku, right? And so you get their relationship, and then you get, Dr. Furuta sacrificing himself to try to destroy Ata, and it's not enough. And Ata, he's still there because he's a cyborg. And cyborgs, as long as they have a will to fight and they have the will to hang on, like, they can keep going, right? And so Ata, you have half his body, and he just completely is destroying Hachimaru, right? You get a flashback of Hachimaru and Dr. Furuta sacrificing himself yet again. Even after the explosive device didn't work, he jumps in front of Ata about to attack Hachimaru, and he takes like a really bad wound to the back. And then you get Hachimaru and Dr. Furuta's flashback, and that was so freaking beautiful. And you have Hachimaru wanting to become strong. You get his resolve, you get the seriousness with his character, and you get his resolve and impact. And it was just so amazing. And like, you get him fighting back even though it's against all odds. And then you have Hagamichi jumping in for a little bit, but he gets washed by Ata. I don't count that as a L, because later on he does get some damage in on Ata, but this is a nerf Ata at this point, whatever. But and it was a nerfed Ata anyways, so Hagamichi still did better than Hachimaru. So, you know what? I'm probably going to cut this video off at the first 15 chapters, because I'm about to go in on an hour, and this is really freaking long. So I'll probably do a part 2 to this, but goodness, like, so I'm going to keep this same thumbnail, but just my quick thoughts. It's just the world and the storytelling, like, so much happened in these two stories that, like, you have to talk about everything if you're gonna give an accurate comparison of the two. So I'm probably gonna talk about just the first 15, because that's where Hachimaru's prologue wraps up. But anyways, so getting everything you got with Ata and Dr. Furuta and Hachimaru fighting against the odds, and you see him just get eviscerated, like he is just getting destroyed. And you see how he quickly grows up from like saying like he's gonna be like Furo Mio to him being like, I don't care about that. I want to protect people right here. Like, I just want to survive at this point. And so you see him going in against Ata, and you see like to no avail. Like, Ata is just completely destroying him. And then you get Dr. Furuta saying that like, Hachimaru, you're a strong boy. Like, you're not weak. You're strong. You're standing up to Ata. And then like just that whole scene. And then you get Hachimaru protecting Anne because Ata, he attacked Anne, trying to, knock off Hachimaru, get him off his train and whatnot. And so you just get all that, and then you get Daruma coming back at the end to save Hachimaru. He comes in, he makes short work of Ata. He does an atmosphere where he uses the atmosphere as an attack, completely destroys Ata's incarnate. Remember, this is not the real Ata, which is crazy. This is Ata, no princess, no key holder, just a samurai soul, not really him, just techniques, like not being able to regenerate and stuff like that. So Ata is a monster, he's a beast. I can't wait to see me some more Ata in the future. But Daruma makes quick work of Ata, and then we're not even done yet. We're not done yet with the prologue. The prologue was so good, bro. Now that I've done it, it was a 9.5 out of 10. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like Samurai 8, it was hidden. It was just the art that was lacking. It was hidden. Now, compared to Naruto, now I gotta give it to Naruto, right? Naruto, in terms of holding your attention, bringing you, wanting to meet the characters and wanting you to actually care about what's going on in the fighting and the battle system for the first 15 chapters. Because remember, we're starting to enter the Zabuza stuff. We're starting to enter, leaving the village. We got an understanding of the world outside of the Leaf Village. Like, there's other Kages around the Leaf Village, the villages and whatnot. There's 5 other great villages. Kakashi explains everything to them, and then he explains that like, and then you get I'm so hyped right now. Like, I love talking about manga and anime, bro. Like, this shit is my life, bro. Like, again, like, go comment down below. Like, let's talk about this shit, bro. And like, I want to talk about this more during Discord tonight. Like, I want to see you guys. I want to see your opinions. But like, like Naruto, you get the rain ninjas, right? I mean, the Land of Waves, I think they're Land of Waves. I'm sorry, I'm not really good at my detail. I didn't really write this stuff down. I just go off the top of my dome because I feel like for me, this is when I do my best videos. This is when I just really love talking about manga and stuff like that. Like, this is when I'm at my peak. Like, I just love doing this, right? So with Naruto, right, you meet these Land of Waves ninjas, and they like make quick work of Kakashi, right, as they're exiting the village. And then you see Sasuke, he comes in, he protects Naruto, he kicks the two Land of Waves ninja, and then he's like, oh, you scared, loser. And then he, you get that whole stuff with him and Naruto, because Naruto gets injured and Naruto freezes up and whatnot after Kakashi gets beat. And then you find out that it was just a substitution jutsu. Kakashi comes in, he makes quick work of the 2 Land of Waves ninjas, and there's that whole thing. That was a really dope chapter. I was like really hyped that whole chapter, right? And so you get everything with the shipbuilder, the shipwright, and he explains that like, hey, these other ninja, they're coming for my head. I'm a shipbuilder. They work for this guy named Gato. You getting more about that and more about the ninjas and like the underworld and like the bingo books and stuff like that in the next couple chapters. And I'll probably extend this a little bit to talk about the Zabuza stuff, because that was like your first real inclination with an actual villain, and you get that real intimidation in the actual real fighting setting, where we got that a little bit earlier with Ata and stuff like that. So you get like so much greatness with Zabuza when he appears. Like Zabuza to this day is a lot of like people stand the hell out of Zabuza, right? And so in my later comparison video, I'll talk more about Zabuza and whatnot. But his fight with Kakashi, learning that Kakashi had the Sharingan, learning that Kakashi was willing to sacrifice himself for team, his team and everything, that was dope. Learning about the class system and like the ranking of ninja missions and why Genin get D-rank missions, and it's to improve their teamwork and improve their understanding, and so they can get stronger before they have to go out and start protecting people, fighting bandits and stuff like that, doing assassinations, which is more like A and B rank missions, which is for like Jonin and Chunin and stuff like that. So that was dope. Finding out that this was probably supposed to be an A or B rank mission that they were going on since they were about to fight Ninja, and how serious Kakashi was. You got Naruto, who was poisoned and whatnot, but he made a vow like he didn't care, like he wasn't gonna freeze up again, like he was gonna be stronger, he was gonna help protect the shipwright and stuff like that. That was really dope to see. Sasuke was being a badass, obviously, during those scenes. And then you start to get the first little inklings, the first little tidbits about the Nine-Tails Fox, because Kakashi, he knows that like Naruto, he's starting to heal, and he knows that like this is a healing factor probably from the Nine-Tails Fox and stuff like that. And so when Zabuza pulls up, you feel like shit got real in Naruto. Like that shit was freaking intense. Like you felt the intensity of Zabuza. You found out that Zabuza, he killed like all of his classmates, and it made he made his whole village change how Genin were selected. This one dude, you find out that he's like a legendary swordsman of the Mist village. Like he was amazing, right? Like Zabuza, I can't wait to get more about that in my later comparison video, because him and Kakashi, that was so perfectly handled and perfectly well done. And wow, I'm at 58 minutes. Yo, like this video if you're here this long, if you stay this long. Like I really appreciate this, because again, like I'm really having fun with this shit. Like I think like these were some of my favorite videos, these last two videos doing on YouTube, like making this one and the last one. Like so let's get back to Samurai 8, right? And so with Samurai 8, you got everything. You got the stuff with Naruto. I mean, not Naruto. You got the stuff with Ata, and after Ata's defeated, you get the stuff about Mandala's box, which is the orb that we got from the first chapter. It's finally expounded upon that it's like it's the box to destroy the world, and you get that. Hey, the Yusuke-sama or Ata, they want to use this box to become a warrior god like Fudomio, because apparently he had these two boxes at one point, and he used them to, I guess, create the world around them, the samurai and stuff like that. So apparently he had these two boxes, he became a god and gave birth to the universe as we know it. Not like, not that the universe wasn't already around, but, in terms of technology and upgrade and stuff like that from what we've gotten our understanding. So, Ata, he explains that Dr. Furuta was a scientist for them, and that Hachimaru, he was an experiment, he's a failure, he was a reject, and he wasn't supposed to be created at all. He was an anomaly. We get that, we get his 7 brothers. We meet one of them whose name is Ikaku. He basically speaks for the other 7 at the moment. And later on we see that he trains with Ata and whatnot. But we get this understanding that they were artificially created. I really can't wait to get that story and scientific background, because that's going to hype me the hell up, bro. I can't wait for more backstory and storytelling. But as far as that went, that was really well handled, though. That string of chapters were like 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s. Like it was really when Samurai 8 really started to hit its stride and really started to hit its wave, right? Like that was fantastic. And so at the end of the day, at the end of all that, after you find out everything about Hachimaru and everything about that, you get the ending of Dr. Fruita's life, and you get him telling him that, hey, everything that they told you is true. I even tried to kill you at one point because I wanted to save the galaxy, but there was just something that drew me to you. And I think that was where Dr. Fruita, he was at a point in his life. I feel like maybe he was depressed or something. Like, he was creating all these weapons. I can't wait to get more Dr. Fruita flashback. I really hope we get more touched upon on him, because he worked for the Ususama for what I'm assuming is a long time, creating technology and weapons for them. He was a scientist for a long time. So I think we'll get more information about that. And plus, he artificially created keys to a box that can destroy the world. I'ma let that sit on y'all brain. For those that don't like Dr. Fruita or don't care about her, I'ma let that sit on y'all brain. Alright? That's a fucking feat. But we find out that I think he might have been depressed at that time. He was just in his experiments in the lab, just working his ass off. And like, he couldn't kill Hachimaru. Like, he saw that he was clinging to life. He was a baby. He was always strong from the beginning, right? And I think he took a loving for him. Like, it's like that was his baby. That was his creation. So he took Hachimaru, away. They ran away. You get that whole story and their loving relationship. And you find out that Dr. Fruita, like, he really loved Hachimaru, and that he believed that even though through it all the pain, all the disdain, all the suffering, and all the yelling and all the pain, like, he really loved Hachimaru as his son. And Hachimaru really loved him as his father. Like, it was so beautiful. The rain, the faces. I haven't talked about enough Anne stuff, and she even hopped in to protect Hachimaru, although he lied to her at one point. And I could talk about so much more. Like, this video could easily go for another 30 minutes to 2 hours just talking about the first 15 chapters, and that's crazy. So, like, again, let me know what you guys think down below. We're gonna talk more about this in the Discord tonight, and I'm also gonna do another comparison video talking about the rest of Samurai 8 after I finish wrapping up this few little tidbits. And I'm gonna continue 15 through 30, just talking about the story, the stuff with Zabuza, and the stuff we getting with Hachimaru and whatnot. That'll probably be later on. Who knows when I'll drop that. But Hachimaru, like, his dad passed away right before his eyes, and then we get his calling. His calling is to be a good son. He wants to protect Anne. He wants to protect the galaxy. He wants to get revenge for his dad. We all love a good revenge storyline, so I can't wait to see where Hachimaru's character is growing. We got everything with Daruma, and you felt, for the first time, you felt the seriousness that this was going to be a difficult journey, that this was going to be a long, hard journey. This was going to be a fight. Like, you understand from that point on that Hachimaru has a hell of a long way to go before he is able to get anywhere near Ata. And you even get that sense when you're fighting Zabuza with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura trying to protect the shipbuilder and everything with that. Like, you could feel the difference in skill alone that they would have to climb to just even be to put up a decent fight against someone like Zabuza for Naruto, against someone like Ata from Samurai 8, because Ata was washing everyone, and that wasn't the real him. That was a fake body, bro. That was a clone of Ata. That wasn't even him at 100%. I don't even know what percentage of strength Ata is at. Like, and that's insane. So for both series, like, for me personally, for my enjoyment, for what I love in a series, I gotta say is Samurai 8. For me, holding it down. I feel like I've given enough points. I've talked about my love for Samurai 8 enough in this video, and I've compared it, and I've talked about my love for Naruto just as strongly. Like, I love Naruto to death. Like, everything from the fireball jutsu to Kakashi knowing that Naruto, knowing the difference between how to fight Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura, and using genjutsu on Sakura to basically make her faint, beating the crap out of Naruto to get him to understand, like, you're not strong at all, and even tricking him at times, showing him that he's naive, and showing that Sasuke, like, you're strong, but you don't have love for your comrades, and you basically you would leave them for dead in a situation if it arose. Like, he basically showed that their lack of teamwork, and that was really well handled. And again, the Zabuza stuff, I can't wait to talk about that in my next video. But I think if you're a casual and you're reading Samurai 8 and you're reading Naruto, and I gotta say, the first 15 chapters for Naruto, I think, will hit you a lot better. You will love it a lot more. It's an easier read. It's a much better understanding. The art flows a lot better. You don't really have to sit down and take your time to read and understand what's going on. Whereas with Samurai 8, you have to really sit down and study it. And for me, like, I feel like, and I keep comparing it to One Piece, and it gives me early One Piece vibes, but I really love sitting down and studying a series. And I might do more comparison videos later on as Samurai 8 gets up there in chapters of Naruto, but I'm really going to get that part 2 out to y'all later. But again, just let me know, again, like, Naruto, if you're a casual, it's probably going to be a bigger, easier read for you for the first 15 chapters, whereas with Samurai 8, it's a lot more technical. It's a lot more, you have to really get in the weeds. You have to get into it and understand, because there's a lot of information that's kind of thrown at you in the first couple chapters that is very easy to disconnect you with the story and the series, if you're not gonna take the time to really study it and understand it, right? So with Samurai 8, for me, definitely reading it was like a 8.5, 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I really loved the first 15 chapters, and all the Samurai 8 haters, like, I was gonna make a rant video a long time ago, and it's kind of why I made my channel, to be honest with you. Like, I think I started my channel on chapter 16. That was my very, very first video. Like, I got tired of all the bullshit these haters were talking about. Samurai 8's trash and blah blah. Like, bro, Samurai 8 is fan-fucking-tastic, and if these last 12 to 15 chapters going into 15 through 33 where we are right now hasn't told you anything, like, Kishimoto's in his goddamn bag, alright? You don't hold this man down for nothing, alright? I can't wait to see where we're going with Hachimaru. I can't wait to do a part 2, but I gotta say, Samurai 8 for me, it wins this comparison video for right now. It definitely over for what I enjoy, right? So again, let me know what you guys think down below, what you prefer, what you enjoy, what you feel about these two series and stuff like that. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna see you guys later tonight for the Discord discussion. Don't miss out. We're gonna bring your top 10 list. I've been saying this. Bring your top 10. It's gonna be fun, even if it's just me, myself, and I talking to one of you guys in the video. If it's just me, myself, talking about Samurai 8 live on stream by my damn self, we gonna pull up. We're gonna have a discussion. I'm gonna talk about this great series that I love and this manga that I enjoy. I hope you guys have been having a good time this new year. I hope you guys push and pursue your goals, and I can't wait to see where Samurai 8 goes in this new year. Again, let me know what you guys think down below about these two series. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace out.